Hello everybody, NGS here and welcome back to Atelier Ryza, episode 4? 4, I think. 4? 4 indeed. I had to double check that just to make sure. In the previous episode, what happened really as far as important things go? Ryza got her own staff, or rather, she got a hand-me-down from Empel, so now she has a good and proper alchemical staff instead of having to use her flail. I still think that using a flail had a little bit more charm to it, because a flail can be used as a farming tool, which works with Ryza's background. It can be used as a nice weapon, and it can be used to stir her brews. Although, can you really call them brews if they pop out of the cauldron with a jar and everything necessary? But sure, a staff also works. Besides that, we helped an old lady reconnect with her friend from the days of yore, thanks to Ryza's alchemy, because she made the healing ointment that not only healed the immediate injury the old lady had, but also healed her legs as a whole, which means that ointment is hella powerful if it can just heal, not just scratches and hurty legs and whatnot, but also the very underlying conditions that people have. I wonder if that ointment is actually supposed to be this strong, or is there something to it? Maybe Ryza's alchemy is so powerful that the ointment is stronger than it should be. Maybe it's the energy of the island. Maybe the island is special in some way. That would kind of explain why Empel is so interested in it. I'm not sure, but she helped the lady with ointment, and then also brought her a flower with some magic dust. Apparently it was supposed to be an incense, but it was also just dust that has a nice smell, or that gives things a nice smell, and that stirred up the old lady's memory, and she reconnected with her friend. And that's basically it. Besides that, I guess that episode also served to deepen the friendship between Ryza and Claudia, and kinda started showing us what Claudia can do. Right, that she figured the whole thing with the old lady out herself, helped Ryza, trusts her enough to play some music for her. So it slowly but surely establishes Claudia as a member of our team. Besides that, not particularly much. This show doesn't yet have any underlying, or should I say, overarching story besides the vague ruins, ancient civilization ruins. Something's gonna happen with that. I'm not sure what exactly, but so far every episode is essentially its own little vignette, its own little quest of the week, essentially. There's a problem, Ryza applies alchemy, problem is solved. That seems to be the scheme for this show so far. We'll see if it grows beyond that, or is it just going to be nice, fluffy alchemizing and going on adventures and having friends and having tea and crumpets together, and no demon lord or an invasion from an outer plane, or anything of the sort. We'll see. I'm completely and entirely unfamiliar with the plot of the games, so maybe the games have some overarching plot. I don't know. If it's a spoiler, don't tell me. If it's not a spoiler, I guess go ahead. But I'd still rather err on the side of caution. So, what do I expect? Oh, one more important thing happened in the previous episode. Lent got a little bit of recognition from Lila, where she praised him for how he handled the situation. So I guess there is a little bit of growth to most of the characters, except Tao. Tao hasn't had his episode quite yet, and I guess there's the overarching, maybe not overarching, but there's the thing with Lent and his father, which probably will need to be solved sometime in the future. What do I expect from today's episode then? I'm not sure. It could be an episode that deals with Len's father, it could be an episode that has Tao go look for some books, it can just be a fluffy episode of Ryza looking for ingredients for a new thingamajig, or it can be a demonic portal opening in ruins because Empel pressed the wrong button. Honestly, anything can happen. So I'm having a really hard time figuring it out. So how about I just stop talking and we start watching instead? How's that sound? To do that, of course, you will need your subs to follow along with me. I'm gonna need my sound to hear what's going on, and I'm gonna have to ask you guys for your support. Support the channel monetarily on Patreon, link down below, or not. Share my content, spread the word, it costs you nothing, helps a lot. And with that out of the way, we can start watching episode 4 of Ryza no Atelier in 3, 2, 1, go. A grotto. Wait, did I skip some episodes? No, I did not skip any episodes. This is episode 4. Yes, it is episode 4, and I have seen episode 3. So I guess they are kind of starting us in medias res. Okay, sure. Yeah, not even the opening has any signs of an overarching story. There's some episodic things like Monster of the Week, but there is no, I don't know, villain or anything like that. I guess boss and lumbar support, but do they even qualify as villains? Not really. So it's kind of hard to figure out what's going to be the conflict of this series, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Sunken mine. Okay, so not a grotto, but a mine. Just whip up some, miracle grow, sprinkle it on the fields, and there you go. Oh. Interesting that it's Empel's and Lila's initiative. Usually it's the trio going to Empel and Lila for help, for permission, whatever. Okay, I guess it's a test. Yep. Define good. Okay, sure. we're going into the dungeon and seeing how deep we can go. Yep, very useful skill, especially when you get a girlfriend. Yep. A purple gem. Coberinite. Okay. And Tao? Okay. You just go and be a third wheel. Yep. You will need to know how to get around them. Exactly. It's not just inside work, sitting by a table and reading books. You also need to find those books, right? And find random inscriptions in the ruins and stuff like that. Tao is being trained less to be a librarian and more to be a field researcher. That's good. Claudia, you wanna join us perchance? We could probably use a ranged DPS. She is. She absolutely is. Well, come along then. Yeah, nobody cares about what you have to say, Tao. Oh, hello, boss. Going to the flooded mines, find some kyanite or whatever it was. Oh no, outsiders! Ah. Ah. No balls whatsoever. Seems to me like you're only busy searching out for Ryza and her friends and antagonizing them. That's your whole shtick. What are you even busy with? I mean, I'm pretty sure he would be put in awe with just a basic healing ointment. You could really use a better sword. Or at least you could ask Ryza to fix your sword with alchemy. Reading about the mine. Learning some spells. Ah. Bombs! Yes. Explosives. Make more than one, just in case. A red mush, bottle, and rock. Those are the ingredients. And a vial of blood again. Does it qualify as blood magic? Okay, so the cutscene of synthesizing is just gonna be a mainstay. Again, let me know if it's also a cutscene in the game or something similar in the game. That seems a little bit puffed up compared to the one Empel had. Yeah, this seems overcharged. You're gonna collapse the mines, aren't you? You're gonna collapse the mines with one of them. This barrel looks like it's been filled with Mentos and Coke. Can you alchemize a source of light? That'd be useful. Or I guess maybe it's unnecessary. There is some light shining through. And glowing crystals. It's a mine that was sunk. Yeah. She wouldn't have chosen a place that they wouldn't be able to deal with. The clapping of your thighs might awaken the monsters. Is that Lila following them? Or is that Claudia? I don't think any of them wears pointy shoes. Definitely not Ryza. Oh, inscriptions. Oh, it's Pokemon. Little crystal golem. Easy. Are those the crystals you need? So it could be inside of the corpses. I mean, grab those rocks regardless. You never know when they're gonna come useful. True. Yeah, there's the inscription. That's not nothing. Go and read it. Maybe it says where the ore is. Is Tao and his ability to read the extinct language gonna come in clutch? I have a feeling that might be the case. Ryza has shown what she's capable of. Lent has shown what he's capable of. I think it's time for Tao. Yep, another inscription. Those are whatchamacallit? Okay, just a random shot of Ryza's thighs. Not like I'm complaining, but sure. Those are like waypoints, right? Go to the left if you want, or go to the right if you want monsters. Yes. What else? No, we dive. Maybe you could try to synthesize some water breathing potion? Probably not on the spot, since she needs the cauldron. Q monsters. Exactly. That's a big one. That's a big one. Another one? Yeah, that's way above your pay grade. Throw the bomb. Yeah, probably a good idea. Weird bloated bomb, no less. Is it going to just fizzle out, or is it going to collapse the mines? It's going to collapse the mines, isn't it? I mean, it's a bomb. I have a sneaking suspicion that Ryza's alchemy is like super strong. That's why the ointment was able to cure the old lady, and that's why the bomb came out this powerful. Run. Yes, exactly. Yes. Yeah, those are not waypoints. What do you call them? Just directions. Stay aware of your surroundings, Lent. Was that loot from the big monster? Oh, more of them. Hello, Lila. Just a start. But they did what they were supposed to. Lila. Not Lila. Lila. But you know what went wrong, and you can reflect on that, and you can grow. Yeah. I mean, you did kill those smaller monsters, but you were able to decipher it. Yep. Yeah, I mean, the island is full of ruins and ancient inscriptions like that. So, someone who can actually read the language, of course, will be useful. Yeah. Can't get good ingredients, go to waste. Is Ample suspecting that her alchemy is somehow too strong? Almost. Yep. Yeah, you need to learn how to control yourself. Define failure. Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense actually. At what you make, something wrong with the subs. Yeah, don't just synthesize random shit for fun. Think about what you're making. And that's it. That's the episode. Is this series just gonna be a series of growth? Like, not much more to it except observing our characters get better and better at what they're doing, perhaps culminating in some boss battle? Possibly. I'm not entirely opposed to that. I wonder if I should keep watching the ending. It's not like there has been any after credits scenes so far, so maybe it's worth just skipping it. Because, yeah, all we see after credits is just spoilers for the next episode, and I'd much rather avoid that. Although you never know, perhaps one of the episodes will just have a random after credits scene, so. Better safe than sorry. And right now, we're gonna watch this episode again. Shall we? Yes, we shall. Let's go back to the beginning. I was very much confused at the start. Lila mentioned some place, test to become adventurers. What? Did I miss an episode or something? No, they just dropped us in medias res. OP. And yeah, a test of aptitude for everybody. For Lent, it's obvious. Are you going to be able to fight the enemies in that cave? For Ryza, it's also obvious. You need to find some special ore, identify and procure it. For Tao, it's a little less obvious test. Just go out there and and be observant. You need to learn what to pay attention to if you want to actually explore the ruins. It's one thing just sitting at home reading books, and that's probably what Tao was hoping for, but it's completely another thing to be out there in the field, searching for inscriptions on the walls and trying to figure out what they mean. We're not complete amateurs anymore. Debatable. Very much debatable. This smug, shit-eating grin on her face. Of course she was planning to make a bomb. I wonder when will Claudia join us. Because that she joins us is pretty much inevitable in my mind. She wouldn't have been given a bow if she wasn't meant to join our party. Really. It would be one thing if she was just a merchant's daughter, and I know she had some connections. She could maybe ask her father to procure some special materials for Ryza, or she could, I don't know, help them talking to the mayor of the city to allow them to explore some off-limits side, or stuff like that. It would be one thing if that was the case, but she has a bow, she has a combat ability, and she has the drive for adventure, she has the desire for that. So she will join us sooner or later, I just wonder when exactly. And yeah, Tao, oh no, I don't want to be in danger either. Forget it. Not like you're gonna listen to me anyway, of course you're gonna drag me with you. And then there's this guy, what is his problem? You're going on another pretend adventure. Excusez-moi? They've been on a couple of adventures already. Ryza is like making useful stuff with her alchemy. Are they like keeping it a secret? Maybe? Probably? I guess that would be the only explanation. And of course, oh, I hear you've been visiting the outsider. What are you doing with the outsider? Oh, alchemy, haha, it's a mumbo jumbo from the outsider. Oh, I just hope they don't get thrown out. Oh, I really hope they don't get thrown out. He's such a little shit. And Lambert's support is the biggest bitch of them all. We've got things to do, I don't have time to waste on you. Then why are you wasting your time on them? My dude. You control the buttons you press. You went there. You started talking to them. Oh, no, sorry, it was Ryza saying that. I misunderstood the situation. In that case, yes, Ryza, good on you. You spoke the truth. Yeah, we got things to do. And, okay, so I guess now it holds true. We're the ones who are too busy to waste time on you. Then why are you doing that, my dude? You just want to be antagonistic for the sake of being antagonistic. He really could use a better, maybe not a better sword. This sword is probably something that he has a lot of experience with. He knows exactly how it's weighted. He knows exactly how it moves. He knows exactly how to grip it and whatnot. But you could really like fix up those notches. So I hope Ryza's alchemy gets good enough to actually fix this sword for him. Tao looking for some random writings. Bomb class item, fire alignment or something. And to make it, you need red mush, bottle of fluid, and fire. And she throws in red mush, a bottle of lemon juice, and a vial of blood. Because Ryza is a blood mage, as we already know. Bigger is better. Yeah, that's the problem that Empel had with it. She didn't. She doesn't have that. Whatchamacallit? That scientific drive, so to speak, right? She made something, it's different than what it was supposed to be, and she's like, oh, yeah, whatever, I guess bigger is better, sure. She doesn't have that curiosity, I guess, and that carefulness, right? She should see this bloated bomb and be like, why is it bigger? What happened to my process to cause this bomb to be bigger? I made everything according exactly to the recipe, and it came out wrong. Why is that? And what does it mean for it to be wrong? Is it going to just fizzle out and not do anything? That's a possibility. Is it going to be stronger than expected? That's also a possibility. But which is it? I should account for both. Right? She's missing that analytic mind. And that's the biggest issue here. Because, okay, this bomb turned out to be much stronger than it should have been, but ultimately it was to their advantage, kinda sorta. It was supposed to kill the monster, it killed the monster. Worked perfectly. But what if this bomb wasn't stronger? What if it turned into a smoke bomb? Just a bunch of smoke and little to no explosion. What if this bomb just didn't do anything? What if it turned into an April bomb? Right? She didn't account for those possibilities. And that could really have lost them the mission. Lost them the adventure. It's really weird to me that she doesn't just gather all that stuff around. Like, if I was an alchemist and I was in this mine, I would grab some of those glowing flowers. 100%. I would break off a piece of the glowing crystal. I would scrape off some of the moss. Who knows when it comes useful? And assuming you can store those things, assuming you can supplement fresh ingredients for dry ingredients, at least for some recipes, there's no reason to not just gather everything that you can see that seems vaguely useful. she has it set. She has her eyes set on one single ingredient, one single go, and she just goes for that, and everything around her be damned. Monster made of stone. Grab those purple rocks. Those aren't the rocks you're looking for, but they might very well be useful. And it's better to grab everything you can while you're in danger, instead of having to go back to this cave for some of those monster gems. Then you need to go back for some of the glowing flowers. Then you need to go back for some of the moss. And every time you put yourself in new kind of danger. She at least has some observation skills, right? She couldn't, and some reasoning skills. She couldn't see any of that ore on the walls or on the ground or anywhere, so where else could it be? Inside of the monsters. Of course, it could be monster loot. So I guess there's at least that. More monsters, more inscriptions. I guess she also made some ice bombs? Sure. That's gonna be useful. Grab some of this water. This water might be useful. It might have some special properties. Who knows? And yet again, this is second time she did that. She completely lacks situational awareness, and she completely lacks restraint. She sees what she needs, and she's just going to beeline for it. Just complete tunnel vision on this ingredient. Just runs in, grabs it, and doesn't pay attention that there's a monster nearby. Yeah, a little too tough for Lent. Using a bomb in a cave, probably not the great idea. At least the cave didn't collapse. I fully expected it to collapse and for them to be trapped there. But no. I guess it was just a bunch of smoke that just blinded them. Deep and outside, so it is a waypoint. Go to the left if you want to go deeper, go to the right if you want to go outside. Tao came in clutch. Previous episode was Ryza showing off what she can do. The episode before that was Lent showing off what he can do. This episode is Tao showing off what he can do. And what is this? Is it just a case of Lent simply not paying attention and almost tripping on a rock? Or is this rock special somehow? Is it a heart of a golem or something like that that will be actually useful? I'm not sure. Oh, duh. Duh. Where does it show the rock? 3 cats. Lila's claws. That's what he noticed. That's why he says Masaka, right? Masaka, Lila is here. And yeah, she is. Lila, not Lila. Lila, 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 Lila. Yeah, triple slashes and dispatches of those golems just like that. Yeah, sure, Lent might have not done too well, but that's how we learn, isn't it? We learn from our mistakes. He made mistakes, he observed them, he took note of them, and he's not going to make those mistakes again. Simple, really. And yeah, always remember that pain, because it's going to keep you on your toes, right? You know how it feels like to you know what it feels like to whatchamacallit, to fail the maybe not trust of your friends to fail at your task of being a bodyguard, keep that in your heart, keep that in your mind to avoid doing that again. And yeah, all that matters ultimately is that everybody got out alive. Thanks to Tao, of course. Accidentally find the writing, but it was thanks to your observation skills. You were able to notice that. Nobody else paid attention to it, only you did. And also you have the curiosity, and you like that your knowledge helps your friends. That means you're going to be a good asset during their adventures. You're going to make a one fine explorer. You have the curiosity, and you have the need and the drive to use your knowledge for good. What's more that you need? And a little bit of a boost to Tao's ego. All this time he thought he's essentially useless, he's not great at combat, and he doesn't really have any other skills. He has his knowledge, and since this entire island is rife with ruins, his knowledge of those ruins, his knowledge of the ancient writing is gonna come in clutch more times than one. And the drive. Finally, the drive. All this time he's been just strung along by Ryza and Lent on their adventures. Now he has his own drive to go on those adventures. I want to figure out what is the purpose of those ruins. What are they? She completed her task, yes, but there was something wrong with the item she synthesized. Almost identical. That's the problem. No problem with the item. You are a complete failure because you didn't take the difference in how the item came out into consideration. Yep, you are very talented as an alchemist. You accidentally created an item of a higher quality, but you didn't notice that. You didn't think that something's wrong with this item. You didn't think to ask. You didn't think to find it in the book. Why is it different? You just shrugged your shoulders and said whatever and took the bomb anyway, despite not knowing what its effects might be. Yep, you used an item without understanding how powerful it was. And because of that, you put your friends in danger. Your time of having fun synthesizing all sorts of things is over. Now you must be careful in what you synthesize. You must think about what you make, what quality you make, and probably take everything you make to Ample so that he can verify if you made a good thing or if you made a bad thing. But I guess that answers my question about the ointment that also healed the old lady, that perhaps that ointment was also of a higher quality than expected. That's why, besides just healing her sprained ankle or whatever it was, it also healed her years-old injury or just her legs going bad with age. But at least she's not completely banned from doing alchemy, so that's probably the best outcome she could have hoped for. And that's it. That's the episode. It's not even gonna be an hour. Okay. Papa. There we go. That was a nice episode because it finally shows us some good and proper growth, and it also shows us a direction. So far, all those episodes were just messing around, making some ointment randomly for no reason at all, using it to help someone, finding an old lady that wants to smell some flowers again, and then setting off to find that flower and making some incense without much direction. You know, Ryza essentially got a new toy and she's playing with it everywhere she can. I can absolutely emphasize with it. When I bought myself a butane torch, ordered it from AliExpress way back when, I was constantly using it, lighting up all sorts of candles and incense and trying to melt some glass and doing all things like that without purpose. I didn't need to do any of those things. I didn't need to, I don't know, bend some glass bottle or whatever, but I did it because I could, because it's a new toy and it's fun playing with a new toy. And now it's the time to start applying that toy as it should be applied. Now it's time to start figuring out what it can be used for, how it can be used for, and how it can be useful. Yeah, the time of just screwing around is over. Now we are more directed. Now we have a direction. And that direction is exploring ruins. That's going to be the thing, I feel, that will be... that will... actually, fuck. I know. Let me note it down before it leaves my head. Stay in my head for just a while longer, oh thought. There it is. I noted down earlier that Ryza creates another water source. We know that there is a single water source on the island. They find a water source in the ruins. They find a new water source in the ruins, or some ancient aqueduct or something like that, because that would fulfill multiple things, multiple threads, multiple whatever you want to call it, multiple storylines. Not really. Exploring ruins, it's important, and they might find water in the ruins, some ancient aqueduct, some ancient pump, some wellspring, whatever. It would also serve as a reason, as a way for Ryza, Lent and Tao to show off to boss, right? We found a new water source. Your father hogs the first water source for himself. Well, we have another one, right? That would serve another purpose. It would also serve the purpose of just, exploring the ruins. And perhaps even Empel will send them off on that adventure. Growth for them all. I easily see that as their final expedition of the season. Episodes 11 and 12 going on an expedition to find a new water source. But yeah, what was I talking about? That we have direction. We have a direction of exploring the ruins, and I think it will culminate in a brand new water source. Okay. What else? It's interesting that everybody besides Ryza is doing well. Lent is really taking Lila's words to heart. He learns from his mistakes, right? He's a model student, essentially. So is Tao. He does what Empel tells him to do. He reads, he learns the language and whatnot. It's only Ryza who's that unruly student with a lot of talent that needs to be a little bit reined in. She is the quote-unquote failure here. I guess it's kind of expected because that makes the main character more interesting. But also something interesting to note. Right? What else can I say about this episode? What else? I don't think there's anything more to say, except that I hope for two things to happen. As I said during the runtime of this episode, I really hope Claudia joins us. Perhaps her father is missing in the ruins and she sets off with everybody else to save him. That's a little bit of a stretch, but maybe something like that. We need some push for Claudia to finally decide to join them on their adventures, and we also need to remove that limiting factor. And I assume her father is the limiting factor, kind of like in the case of Ryza, her parents are. But Claudia won't sneak out. She is too good of a child to do that, to go against her father's wishes, I feel. And I also hope we get... what else? We get Lent's sword fixed. That seems like a nice... like a nice checkpoint, so to speak, for Ryza's alchemy. Right? She can synthesize new items, but how about modifying existing items? I assume alchemy also deals with that, and Lent's sword seems to be a prime example. I don't think I would want him to replace that sword, but I really hope it's going to get fixed eventually. And we know that with alchemy everything is possible, so chances are he's not gonna have to go to any sort of a blacksmith. Ryza can eventually do it for him. Or maybe she can synthesize exactly the same sword, but a new one, right? Get the cauldron rolling, throw in his old sword, throw in a vial of blood like usual, throw in some green goop and a flask of orange juice, and out pops his sword, fixed with 100% durability and +2 to damage or something. I really hope that they all grow in that way. I'm a sucker for growth. In anime, in manga, wherever. I'm a sucker for characters getting new armor. I'm a sucker for characters getting new weapons. I'm a sucker for characters getting new clothes. I really am. It's less... it irks me less in anime when a character stays the exact same all throughout, right? The exact same sword, the exact same clothes, the exact same, I don't know, hairstyle, whatever, for 15 seasons. But it irks me a lot in games, in MMOs, for example, when there's no visual progression. You start the game with iron armor and a sword, and then you find all sorts of crazy armor on your way, but none of that changes your visual looks. I don't like that. So I hope they at least fix Lent's sword, at the very least. I'm not saying get them new clothes. Probably not gonna happen. I mean, it's based on a JRPG, and JRPGs very, very rarely have any sort of visual progression. But at least, a better sword. At least that. Ryza got a new weapon. There's no reason for Lent not to. Or maybe, I don't know, Lila can give him one as a sign of finishing her course of the path of the warrior or whatever. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, I think that's gonna be it. I don't think I have anything more to say on the topic of this episode. I might record one more today. This one was fairly short, and I have the time, so why not do that? But right now, that's gonna be it. But maybe you guys have something to add. If you do, say so in the comments down below. What did you think of this episode, my reaction, my theories, all sorts of things like that. No spoilers though. If you want to talk spoilers, do it on my Discord. It's here, also linked in the description below. Like this video if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't, but tell me why so I can improve. Subscribe to be notified of future releases of not only Ryza and Atelier, but also Helk Zom 100, Nanatsu no Makengashi Hai Suru, and Undead Girl Murder Farce, and others coming at you in the future. I also stream sometimes, gacha games, gunpla building, stuff like that, so click the bell to be notified of when I go live. Support the channel if you want monetarily on Patreon, linked down below, where for $10 a month you get early access to non-seasonal shows like Symphogear, Madoka Magic and others, and for just $1 you get a role on the Discord and a place in the credits. And if you don't want to spend any money, you don't have to. Share my content, spread the word, it costs you nothing and helps a lot. And with all of that out of the way, that's gonna be it. from me for today. So as always, you guys do the good stuff. And I'm gonna see you in the next one. Cheers! And here's the list of my wonderful patrons: QB Without a Net, Fruitzay, Rainer, Akamancer, Fassel, Dr. Watt, Marsh, Yuki Ally, and Hans Peter. And you can join their ranks without conquering a cave.